Hey guys, Fizz here, and today I wanted to talk about something, an issue that's been putting a divide in the gaming community as a whole, and that is, innovation in this media that we all enjoy and love. There's a big issue here with what people are expecting in their games now. I'm going to use a couple games as examples. Most recent, we've had games like Mad Max, which have been critically panned for being repetitive and samey and not really trying anything new. But whereas if you were to ask the general public about their opinions on Mad Max, most people would tell you that they found Mad Max very enjoyable. And Total Biscuit made a video about the negative reviews that Mad Max has been getting, and familiarity versus innovation. And I am somebody who wants my games to innovate. I'm actually been having quite a lot of fun with Mad Max, but I do see the critics' point about it being pretty much an Arkham clone, not really doing too much to change itself to make it unique in the genre. Another game I'm going to be using as an example now is Call of Duty. Now, I loved Advanced Warfare because it changed the formula. It was different. It did a lot of things that to try and change the way that Call of Duty was looked at and played, and it really affected the way you were supposed to think about combat, the way you're supposed to the way you're supposed to just generally play the game. And a lot of people really appreciated these changes, but again, the general public who was playing the game really didn't like it. And now we're going back to Black Ops 3, where there are some changes, but it is pretty much the same thing we've been getting for the last 10 years. And to some people that's good, they want that. But the last game I'm going to be using on here is Halo 5, because this one's a little bit more controversial. There's more divide with Halo 5. With Mad Max, there's a bit of a divide with the consumers versus the critics, and as for games like Call of Duty, there's a bit of a divide as well. But I don't think any franchise out there right now that's been changing things has as much of a player-based divide as Halo does right now. Halo 4 was made by 343 Industries, who's the new people in charge of the Halo games since Bungie went to go work on Destiny with Activision. That whole debacle. What a lot of people don't realize, though, is that 343 was founded in order to keep Halo going. It wasn't just some random company that was stepping in. It's actually comprised of a lot of old Bungie members who've been working on Halo for years and have really made their mark on the industry. But I digress. Halo 4 was not made by Bungie, and so immediately all eyes were on 343. Everyone was waiting to see how they would handle things in their transition, and they got some, they got pretty ballsy. They did some, they did some new things. They tried to innovate as best as they could. They did make some mistakes. There are some things I really dislike about Halo 4, but overall, I enjoyed Halo 4 as a game. I know that it's not the most popular Halo, to put it lightly, but I can still have fun with the game. I loved the campaign. I thought the campaign was very well done. They tried a lot of new storytelling mechanics and just general techniques to make the game a bit more cinematic and tell a more focused story. And I liked that. I liked a lot of what the new things that they did. I've been a Halo fan since the beginning. Halo, as a lot of you know, Halo is my favorite game franchise of all time, and I want to see it change. I don't want it to stagnate like Call of Duty. I don't want those comparisons to be made with my baby, my Halo, I'm one of the Halo fans who is desperately wanting Halo to keep evolving. In order to, it's an old game. Halo 1 came out 13 some years ago. When Halo 1 came out, it was revolutionary. When Halo 2 came out, it was revolutionary. It innovated the way that multiplayer games were handled on a console. Halo 3 refined what the innovation that Halo 2 made. So it took what Halo 2 did and enhanced it. It refined it, made it better, made it a more enjoyable experience. And Halo 3 was amazing. Then we have the the spin-off titles. We have ODST, which was a more art housey, bluesy version, noir version of Halo that really tried to tell a different sort of story in a different setting with different protagonists, and I really enjoyed Halo ODST as well. And then you have Reach, which tried to tell a bigger scoped story. It tried to do some new things game mechanically. It really pulled out all the stops. And then you have Halo 4, which again was made by a new company. They They really took big leaps and bounds in the storytelling aspects. They made some changes to multiplayer, how everything works there, and you know, like, again, I will reiterate that I feel like Halo 4 was a missed opportunity, and there was some missteps. However, they have taken a lot of the feedback from making Halo 4 and used that to their advantage. Obviously, we know loadouts are gone, at least from the arena multiplayer, but then they still have all the experiences that the people did enjoy from Halo 4. They still have pretty much everything while expanding upon what they did in Halo 4 and adding new things. They're really pushing on storytelling, co-op, and multiplayer game mechanics, movement as far as the multiplayer game mechanics are concerned, with this new Halo 5. And I've played the beta. It is a blast. I wish I could play it more, like, you know, other people have got to do at events. Sadly, I haven't played since the beta, but everything that I've seen so far is looking promising. But my overall point here, I know I've kind of been talking for a long time, and it's just because this is something I'm really passionate about. My overall point is that I want my games to keep changing. I don't want all games to eventually just become clones of each other. I don't want my games to stagnate. I don't want my games to become the same. I'm not the kind of person who wants to spend $60 every year, you know, buying the same Call of Duty. I want the games to evolve and constantly evolve, not just evolve, you know, once or twice and then you know, be done. I want the games to keep changing and keep doing new things, keep being fresh. Like I said, Halo 1 and 2 were revolutionary games that really changed the way people thought about shooters on a console. And I would love to see Halo, especially Halo, go back to the way it was like that. Obviously, they are doing new things with Halo 5, and that's great. But a lot of people are complaining about these new things that's happening with Halo or with Call of Duty, and I just don't get that. I legitimately don't get that. I don't see why people want to keep buying the same games over and over again, you know? I would imagine that as gamers, we'd all want the industry to evolve constantly and, you know, change and constantly better itself. I can understand, you know, games like Counter-Strike where it's the same formula. They're just, you know, fine-tuning that formula. So we have Counter-Strike, you know, 1.6, then they did Source with the new engine, which is pretty much the same game, just with the Source engine, and then the actual sequel, which is Global Offensive, which just took everything, improved upon it, and innovated in some new ways as well. Global Offensive has done some really great new things with the shooter genre, especially on the competitive scene, done some really great things there. But that's all for today's video. Like, I'm just really passionate about this specific thing. You know, I really love Halo. I really love video games in general, and I just hate seeing games stagnate. I want my games to evolve constantly. You know, comment down below whether or not you think that the changes to Halo 5 and, you know, Black Ops 3, Advanced Warfare, stuff like that, if you think that these games need to change even more, if you think they should go back to the way they're normally done, I want to hear you guys' opinions on this, because this has been something I've been thinking about a lot lately, and, you know, I haven't really made a video on it until now, just because, you know, I never really felt like it was the right time, but I feel like now is a good time to start a discussion on it. And I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me. They're going to feel like, you know, these games need to go back to the way they used to be, but I completely disagree. I think these games need to keep changing, so make sure to just tell me down below what you guys feel, and I'll make sure to like and comment and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay classy, guys.